Hi, welcome to Arkintel. Imagine walking into your local supermarket. The shelves are stocked, but something feels off. The loaf of bread you bought last week costs 30% more today. Cooking oil is nearly double. Rice, sugar, and milk all creeping up week on week. You ask yourself, why? Is this inflation? Is it supply chains? The truth is darker. Your grocery bill is about to explode. And it's not random. Because the global food system is breaking down under three converging shocks: climate disasters that wipe out harvests, fertilizer markets that swing wildly with geopolitics, and fragile supply routes that fail when we need them the most. Together, they are setting the stage for the next global crisis. The question is not if food prices will spike, but how bad it will get and whether the world is ready. Let's start with the warning light that's flashing: prices. The FAO Food Price Index, the global benchmark for what food costs, averaged 130.1 in August of 2025, the highest in more than 2 years. That's nearly 7% higher than last year, even after governments tried to stabilize markets. But behind those numbers are people. In 2024, 295 million people across 53 countries were pushed into acute food insecurity, nearly 14 million more than the year before, marking the sixth straight year of worsening conditions. At the extreme edge, around 1.9 million people are in IPC Phase 5, catastrophic hunger. Families in Sudan, Gaza, South Sudan, Haiti, and Mali are skipping meals for days, scrapping together whatever they can. Sudan has already seen famine officially declared, the first in 5 years. Food inflation isn't abstract. It decides whether a child eats 3 meals or 1, whether a farmer keeps planting or abandons the fields, and whether governments hold stability or face protests, riots, and collapse. The signal is clear. The system isn't bending anymore. It's breaking. For centuries, farming lived at the mercy of the skies. But today, extreme weather doesn't just damage crops, it destabilizes the entire food system. Take cocoa. West Africa, which produces about 70% of the world's supply, was hammered by relentless rains in 2023 that triggered black pod disease. Then, in early 2024, a severe drought struck. Within months, cocoa prices surged to over $10 per kilo, the highest on record. But the bigger threat is what scientists call synchronized shocks. Imagine the US Midwest baking under record heat, India's monsoon failing, and floods drowning Ukraine's grain fields, all in the same season. Normally, one region's surplus can cover another's shortfall, but when they fail together, the system buckles. Prices don't just climb, they soar. And the odds are rising. Climate change is making these simultaneous failures more likely every decade. What was once rare is now becoming probable, a perfect food storm in the making. When people think about food, they picture farms, tractors, and fields. But the hidden truth is that modern harvests depend on gas and minerals, turned into fertilizer. Half the world's crops rely on nitrogen fertilizer, made from natural gas. Without it, yields collapse. That makes fertilizer prices one of the most powerful levers on global food security. And the supply is dangerously concentrated. The Strait of Hormuz, a single choke point, carries about 20% of the world's LNG, and nearly half of all global urea exports depends on Gulf producers shipping through it. Any flare-up, war, sanctions, blockade, and the shockwaves hit farms from Kenya to Brazil. By mid-2025, urea was trading between $600 and $660 per ton in many retail markets. For small farmers in Asia or Africa, that's the line between fertilizing properly or cutting back. And when millions cut back, harvests shrink and food prices surge months later. It's a time bomb. The crops you will eat next year are already being shaped today by whether fertilizer is affordable. And here's the crucial irony. Wealthy countries can buffer the shock. Poorer nations cannot. Hunger spreads fastest where resilience is weakest. So, who pays the price when food costs explode? First, the poorest. In West and Central Africa, more than 40 million people are already struggling with hunger this year. Food aid pipelines are drying up, even as demand grows. In places like Sudan and Gaza, families face famine conditions. But don't assume wealthy countries are safe. The pain looks different, but it's there. Families in Europe, US, and Asia see eggs, bread, rice, and cooking oil inch upwards. A $100 grocery basket quietly becomes $130. Government feels the heat too. Desperate to claim public anger, they roll out subsidies, cap prices, and restrict exports. But these quick fixes distort markets, discourage production, and often make the next crisis worse. The truth is brutal. Nobody escapes. The only difference is whether you run out of money or run out of food first. The way out of this spiral lies in real fixes, not band-aid patches. We need to diversify production, spreading risk beyond a handful of bread baskets with climate-resilient seeds and smarter cropping. Fertilizer must be treated as a strategic resource with reserves, varied suppliers, and more efficient use on farms. Food must also keep moving. Export bans and blockades often turn local shortages into global shocks, while open corridors and coordination can steady markets. Technology can help too, from satellite irrigation to AI-driven yield forecasts and crop insurance that keeps farmers planting even in risky seasons. But this isn't just about supply, it's about confidence. When farmers trust the markets will stay open and inputs will be available, they plant. Without that confidence, they hold back. And hesitation today means shortages tomorrow. And then there's the human side. Protecting the vulnerable means more than feeding programs. Cash transfers, school meals, and nutrition safety nets aren't charity. They are investments in stability. They ensure that food inflation doesn't scar an entire generation or tip fragile states into unrest. None of this is easy, but without food, nothing else holds. This isn't random, it's a chain reaction. Climate stress, fertilizer fragility, and weak safety nets colliding all at once. The gap between today's higher grocery bill and tomorrow's global crisis is razor thin. The difference between a tight year and catastrophe will be decided by the choices we make now. If we act, diversify crops, protect fertilizer flows, strengthen trade, and shield the vulnerable, we can bend the system back from the edge. If we don't, the next spike won't just empty wallets, it will empty stomachs and destabilize nations. The bill is coming due. The only question is, do we prepare now or pay later? This is Arkintel, and we'll keep tracking the signals shaping the future. If you found this video insightful, make sure to check out Can 3D Printing Solve Housing Crisis? In this video, we explored whether 3D printed homes can solve the global housing crisis by breaking down how the technology works, where it's already being used, the environmental upside, and the challenges that could still stand in the way. Click the video to watch now.